What's up, everybody? My name's Parasite. Welcome back to the Jose Mourinho Challenge with Sporting. Originally, we were going to play Moreirense and Benfica today, but because of the Taça de Portugal, the Benfica match got rescheduled, so we're still going to play Moreirense, but instead of playing that second game, we're actually going to take a look through the data hub. We're a little over halfway through the season, so I feel like now is a pretty decent spot to take a look at the data hub, see how things are going, and, kind of judge which players are performing at expectation, above expectation, and just see if there's any changes we need to make. So we've actually played a little bit over a month. Quite a bit has gone on. We are in the January transfer window, and some players have been sold. No players that we've hadn't previously agreed deals with have been signed, but a lot of the regions I showed you last time have come in, all but one exactly. But if we look at the transfers, some players that have left, not key players, but players that were unhappy, contracts were running out, barely played for us. The biggest one, Kolo Muani, has left to Genoa for $6.5 million. He wanted to be transfer listed. We agreed. We got some interest in our inbox, so I offered him out, and that started a bidding war. Originally, the first offer that came in for him was like 1.2, 1.3 million, and it just kept going up in 1.5 million or $0.5 million increments until eventually, I think it was between like Genoa and Sunderland, who signed our other two players. And eventually he goes to Genoa for $6.5 million. That's pretty good money for a guy we got on a free that just, it's not amazing. He hasn't played a lot for us, especially recently, especially since we've gone away from the wide system. So, okay to see him leave. The other two players, another striker, Pedro Mendes. We've had regions come in that are already better than him. He hasn't played at all this season. He's not going to play a lot for us. So he left Sunderland for $1.5 million, and Luis Segovia, probably most significant player that's played the most for us over the past couple of years. But he's kind of fallen down the pecking order. He was unhappy. He wanted more playtime. We couldn't really give him that, so he left to Sunderland as well for $1.5 million as well. So got a little bit of money off the books. Got a fair amount of money for some players that just weren't in our plans. And you can see all the regions that have come in from all the way down to Larson. So yeah, a lot of these regions have come in. Because of that, we decided to do a little bit of rotating in our youth teams just to get the best players playing at the best level. Our B team actually plays in the second division, and they're actually third right now. So, it's a pretty strong team. So it's a really good opportunity for a lot of these youngsters that I want to keep around to get homegrown, and I want to get playing at a good level to play at a good level. So we've got guys like Oscar Gonzalez, Mexican region we signed, Balanta, Montiel, one of the first regions we signed. I think he was actually the first region we signed. Even some guys from our youth intakes like Joao Corral, Sugo, Guilherme Santos, Rivadiniera, the Argentinian left backs down here. He's developing pretty well at 20 years old. So, yeah, some pretty good players, some pretty good potential. And then under 23s, still some pretty good players. You can see we've got a lot of two-star ability players, which for our team is actually pretty good. And these are players just playing in the under 23s. So our under 23s should be playing pretty well. They're currently first in their division. So we've got guys like Roberto, who came from one of our affiliates, Milicevic, Montano, that young Mexican center back we signed that we're really excited about. He's going to start in the under 23s. Some other guys like Jose Gutierrez, Argentinian I really like. Roland Martinez, the Argentinian attacking midfielder. Bonano, the Argentinian striker. So we have a lot of talent in our youth teams. Even our under 19s, a lot of 16-year-olds, especially we signed quite a bit. So they've all gone into this under 19s, and just look at the potential. Like the one area we really struggled for good players is actually center back. Like we've got that Mexican guy, but we haven't had a single. Well, I think we've had one region center back come through. He's playing in the B team. Other than that, like we haven't had any other good young center backs. So we're actually playing Heleno, who is naturally a left back. We're playing him at center back. He's got the size. He's got the ability, and just get Bufus, who I really like as well, 16-year-old left back. Get him in there. So Helena's playing at center back for us, but yeah, some really good potential here in the under 19s. And hopefully we'll be bringing in even more potential because we've got our youth intake preview, and supposedly it's pretty good. Supposedly it's an excellent intake, 4.5 stars, but sometimes this lies. Usually it feels like this lies. But apparently we got one really good goalkeeper, one really good defensive midfielder, two good central midfielders, and a good striker. Unfortunately, no good center backs, but that kind of sucks, but who knows? Like, sometimes you can have a center back at an E, and eventually your best player from the youth intake's a freaking center back. So, don't take this to heart, but hopefully it's going to be another good youth intake. Add even more good talent to our youth teams. Other than that, we've also signed some new deals with the January transfer window coming. Contracts started to run out. Had a few players, no key players. We already had most of our key players locked up long term, but some role players like Jose Marsa, Xavi Simmons, Manuel Ugarte, the most significant of them, and some youngsters like Estevez, Guilherme Santos, Simão Suarez, all signed new deals. A couple that haven't, unfortunately, they're both in the same position. Ruben Aguilar, our right back, he doesn't want to be here, even though I can guarantee him if he leaves, he's not going to a better team. He might get a little bit more money, but the team he's going to, I would be shocked if they even are in Europe. So I don't know why he wants to leave so bad, but he's unwilling to negotiate. So there's a high likelihood he leaves on a free. And Escaio might also be leaving on a free because he will negotiate, but as a 32-year-old backup who's never been a significant starter for us, he wants $75K a week. And that is absurd. Like, absolutely absurd. So we're obviously not giving him that. We can still negotiate. He's not currently interested in negotiating right now because the contract just got done talking with him. So we'll see. But he has a bid from a decent team in Brighton. So there's a decent chance he might be leaving too. So we might be needing 2 right backs. And right backs are hard as crap to find. So, yeah, wish me luck. I talked about the results. They've been pretty good. So since that 5-1 loss to Manchester United, frustrating, but we're down 2 men. We're better than that, and we showed it. We had 3 straight games in the league, 3 straight clean sheets. Famalicão 3-0, Sorloth brace, Sensi goal. Maritimo twice in a row, 3-0 the first time, Dike and Gonzalez, and then 4-0 the second time. Tomas brace, Sorloth, and Ossio. We then played Cova Pi Daddy. I know that's not how it's pronounced. Don't care. And we smashed them 8-1. Lower league team. Played like a C squad. A lot of our regions that you just saw played. Milicevic, Simão Suarez, Guilherme Santos. Not a region, but good young player. Oscar Gonzalez started and got a hat trick. This was his debut as well. So got a 10 and a hat trick on his debut. Gonzalo Balanta started for us, got 2 goals. Or not started. He came off the bench and got 2 goals. Rivniera came off the bench. Joao Carrao came off the bench. So, yeah, just smashed them with some really good regions. Guimarães, 5-1, and they didn't get their goal to the 85th minute. Sesko gets a hat trick, Sorloth and Ossio. Vizela, 2-1, a little bit most, not the best result, but we completely dominated them. It should have been 3-4 goals. We missed a penalty as well. Daryl Dike got a goal, probably should have had a second. Romagnoli gets a goal. And then finally, Boavista, another clean sheet, 3-0. Sorloth with a brace, and Ossio getting a goal. Scored a fair few goals over this stretch. I don't think he got a goal. Like, I think this, what was it, Maritimo? The second Maritimo match. I think that was his actually first goal of the year. And then he got like 2 more in the next 5 games. So, he stepped up, got a few goals for us. So today we'll be playing Moreirense, and we've got a strong squad for it. A little bit of rotation because of some heavy match loads. But Escaio starts. Aguilar's got a heavy match load. Same for Bergman Johansson on the left-hand side. So Vinagre starts. Romagnoli starts. Ruan has a heavy match load. And Ossio moves over to the right. Midfield, full strength. Polina, Gonzalez, Nunez, Tabata. Gonzalez is playing really well this year. Really stepped up. Good to see. Tabata started a little bit slow, but he's been really good recently. He's still our top assister like he always is. And up top, we're going with Dike and Sorloth. Dike has been playing really well, so I don't have any problem starting him in a match this magnitude. Sorloth been pretty decent for us as well. See the average ratings. Dike has 10 goals. And we're actually just going to completely rotate guys like Sesko. I think that's about it for the starters we're going to rest. But I felt like, Tomas has actually been really good as well. He has 9 goals. So I'm comfortable with him having to come off the bench and play. So he's going to be on the bench. Other than that, kind of to be expected. Ruan also getting rested for this match. But I'm pretty confident with the way we've been playing. Like, Moreirense are not a bad team, but their recent form hasn't been fantastic. And you know what? This team right now, they're scoring goals. Defensively, we're still really good. We'll see just how good when we take a look at the data hub after this match, but I'm really happy with how things are going. We just need to, keep our foot on the pedal. We got some big games coming up, and we need to win them. Actually, right before we get to the match, I didn't show who we've got in the Champions League. It is actually going to be, there was no easy draw, so we couldn't have gotten an easy draw. We could have gotten Liverpool. Fortunately, we didn't. We got a team that I actually think we can beat in Bayern Munich. So, Bayern Munich, we haven't played them yet in the save. Kind of excited to play them. And I looked at their squad. It's still, they have some first-team players that, you recognize, but I don't think it's that strong. Like, Kabak is a good center back, but he's not ridiculously better than anything we have. Neuer's still there, but the rest of their defensive options, other than Upamecano, who's a freak, he's just a freak. Other than that, I mean, their fullbacks aren't anything special. Their midfielder, like Basuma's leaving on a free, so like this is, I mean, like their attackers, like Vidovic, who's a youngster from theirs. I mean, he's pretty solid. Just he's not Lewandowski level. He's actually played a lot for him. 13 starts in the league. So yeah, I'm not really that concerned. They do have Davies at left back, so he's obviously really good still. But Gretzka's still there, Sané's still there, so they still have some really good players. Gnabry, Muller, but I mean, compared to the teams we could have gotten, I think we can definitely beat Bayern Munich. All right, so you saw the team. I think that's everything I wanted to go over. Let's get in this match and keep our form going. Don't let our good run of form come to an end here. Keep it going. We've been playing really well in all phases, scoring a fair few goals, but we can't let up. Benfica don't look like they're going to slip up anytime soon, so we need to keep pace. 16 minutes in so far, and it's been all us. We've even dominated the possession, which is not common, but we're going to go behind. I think that's their first shot on target of the game. And it's a missed header by one of our defenders. I don't know who that was, whether it was Vinagre or Romagnoli. But, of course, they've done nothing. We've dominated possession, which we just don't tend to do. It's Vinagre. And they're the first to score on their first real chance. We're going to have a kickoff highlight. If we score now, I'll feel a little bit better, but still pretty frustrated at that goal. It's Gaio looking to run down this right-hand side, so he can put in a good ball quality. Finds DK. For a second, I didn't think I was going to go in. Like, the clearances, the save at first, then the clearance off the line. Fortunately, we get a little bit fortunate. Falls to DK. Can't miss from there. And he puts it in to equalize literally immediately. Alright, this is basically 0-0. So let's just keep dominating and win this freaking thing. DK, ridiculous save. And look at that clearance. And Saw still almost makes the third save. Looks like the first half's going to end 1-1. We've had most of the chances, a lot of XG. And it's still 1-1. We didn't see a single highlight, even though we had probably 12, 13 shots. Not good enough. I don't like what I just saw from this team. We've been sloppy defensively and wasteful in front of goal. That cannot happen. We cannot afford to drop points here. We're going to have to be better in this second half in all phases. 65th minute, nothing has happened. So, we're going off balance. We've been the much better team. Going attacking. In terms of instructions, I don't know if I really need to change much. Like, we're still creating, so I don't know if I need to be more expressive. I still think the way we're playing, it is working. Our players just aren't doing their jobs. So, I don't think I really want to change much. I was going to get stuck in, but then Manchester United flashed through my mind, and I don't want that to happen again. So, I'll prevent short goalkeeper distribution. I don't want them wasting time. They're obviously delighted with this result, so I'm going to push the line up a little bit and prevent short goalkeeper distribution. In terms of changing out some players, no one's played particularly poorly, but most haven't played particularly well either. DK gets a 7.9, but that's pretty much just because he had an open goal to shoot for, which can't give him a lot of credit for that. I feel like it's a little early to bring on Tomas. I do think I'm going to bring Sensi on for Gonzalez. Gonzalez hasn't played well. Sensi is a very good super sub for us. Left back, Vinagre's played well apparently. It's another place where we could probably get better at bringing on Aguilar or Johannesson. But with our performance currently, I don't know if I need to make that change. I'm just going to make the one change, I think. Hopefully going attacking, being a little bit more aggressive. Hopefully we can create some chances. I just want to see some highlights. 75th minute. Is that a penalty? I think that's going to be a penalty. Usually it is. When they say it's a push, usually it's a penalty. Who do we have that's going to take it? Sorloth. Sorloth's pretty decent penalty taker. Please be a pin. We desperately need a pin at this point. We have a pin. 75th minute, the first thing we've really done all half, and it's a penalty. If we miss here, it's just not to be. Please, Sorloth. Let's go. Alright, we have the advantage. I'm going to go off attacking. I'm going to drop the line back. I'm going to stop preventing short goalkeeper distribution because there's no point of them wasting time now. So if they want to, have fun. Other than that, I think I'm going to keep everything pretty much the same way. I'm still going to try to get another goal. Defensively, Ignacio has not played well and he's apprehensive, but Caceres is also apprehensive, and he's bad. So I don't think I'm going to make that change there. Polina's on a yellow, so I'm actually going to bring in Dyer. And I think it's a little bit too early to waste time, so I'll just make those changes. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to do. I don't think so. So now we just need to hold on to this lead. Moreirense don't look like scoring, so yeah, hopefully we can hold it to just a 2-1 win at the worst. At least we're finally have an advantage. We could not drop points there. There's going to be a goal highlight, or a highlight from the kickoff. What I was trying to say. If they're going to do to us what we did to them, I'll be a little bit frustrated. They scored. We got a kickoff goal. Now, they have a chance after the kickoff, but we have a chance to maybe put us up 2 goals. Mateus Nunez on the ball. Sensi puts it into him. DK has a chance to basically put it away. Good save from the goalkeeper. It's going to be a corner. We are pretty good from corners, so definitely have an opportunity to score here. It's going to go to Romagnoli at the back post. And not a header, but a well-cushioned, do you call it a volley? I don't know if you call it a volley. Well-cushioned shot into the corner of the goal. We have a slight advantage now. We have a 2-goal advantage now. A little bit more comfortable. A little bit of pressure off my shoulders. Now we just need to not screw this up. 80th minute. Maybe they're pushing forward and they're giving us chances kind of going forward. Like they're being a little bit more aggressive looking for an attack, but I don't know why there's suddenly a bunch of highlights. Vinagre to completely put it away. Goes all the way through, but we can't quite get down to the end of it. Ignacio's going to pick it up, though. His performance has improved a little bit, but still not had the best day. Escaio, not a lot of people to really aim for. He finds Sorloth, though, and that puts it away. We can pull everything off here. We have a 3-goal advantage. They're not coming back from that. It took us a penalty at first, but eventually we really piled on the pressure. We got our goals, and now we can rest somebody. Who needs the rest? Probably Tabata. Maybe Sorloth, but I think we'll go Tabata. Nuno Santos needs some game time. He's been a little unhappy. So I'm going to bring him in, and I'm going to just pull everything back. Lower the tempo. Lower the passing directness. Yeah, we're just gonna hit all the buttons. Go all the way to short. Let's even be more disciplined. Work the ball in the freaking box. There we go. We're going to regroup, hold shape, just completely lower the intensity, slow the pace down, distribute center backs, trigger press all the way to the bottom, stay on feet, drop our line of engagement, and see this game out. Should be good from here. And that's going to be how the game ends. 4-1. A little bit nervy at points, but we really piled it on at the end. We had like 2 XG going into the 70th minute. One of them, we did get the penalty, which really bumped it up, but we had quite a few chances. We actually ended up top on possession, which does not happen very often. 4 half chances, 3 clear-cut chances. We eventually took our chances. That's good to see. 76th, 77th, 80th minute. Moreirense made me feel a little hard done by, but we were the much better team. We deserved to win that game. And we, kept our good form going. Scored 4 goals. Defensively, started off not that great. Obviously missed the header that led to their first goal, but ever since then, they had a few chances, but XG not super high, so I think we did pretty well. Nice work, everyone. That was good. It took us a bit to find our groove, but once we did, and the momentum swung in our favor, we took advantage of it. That's not something we've done enough in previous seasons. So the fact we're doing it now just shows how far you've come as individuals and how far we've come as a team. Well done. That result means Sporting are now top of the league, something which must make you happy. Are we legitimately top of the league? We might be, actually. I'll have to check after this to see if we're legitimately top of the league right now. We had games in hand over Benfica, so I'd be surprised if they currently have a game in hand over us, but we'll see. I'm pleased, yes. It's nice for the lads, and it's a reward for the way in which they go about their business. It's up to them to keep it going now. All right, see this table. We are legitimately top of the league. Benfica must have slipped up. We have a game in hand, and we're ahead by a point. Oh, they just slipped up today. They lost to Guimarães. 1-0. Let's go, Guimarães. They're third, so they're actually doing pretty well. I mean, I definitely think this is a 2-horse race, but yeah, we're legitimately top of the league. That win over Benfica early in the season made this possible, and our run since then has made it a reality currently. And we could go 4 points clear if we win our game in hand. Sorloth, man of the match, 2 goals and an assist. Great game from him. Happy without having to have Sesko in there. He still played well. Really stepped up. 30 years old now, but I still think he's really good. I feel like Benfica must have slipped up at another point because I feel like they have to for us currently to have that kind of advantage on them. They did. They drew against Porto last match, so they have dropped 4 points. Or no, 5 points in 2 days or 2 games. Dude, that's huge. If they can continue to go on that, yeah, they got some easy games coming up. I was gonna say if they can continue to struggle, that could be huge for us. They have Copenhagen, freaking lucky, but yeah. They've got some easy games coming up, though. Bellingham is just not an easy win. But not a lot of hard games coming up. But if they're in bad form, anything can happen. But we currently have the advantage over them. That is huge. All right, now we're going to take advantage of looking at the data hub. I expect to see, we get to look at momentum. I expect to see pretty significant change of momentum at the end of that match. Let's look. So, they had even when we had the momentum, they scored their goal. They had a slight little bit of momentum in the first half, but we ended the half very strong. We just couldn't freaking score. And then, we had strong momentum there at the end. Got our goals from it. Pass map. Mateus Nunes does look like he's playing a little bit more further forward as that advanced playmaker. I actually kind of like this positioning. I don't know why our strikers are so wide. I don't know if I necessarily want that, but it kind of makes sense. At least areas in the middle open for Tabata and Gonzalez to make their runs. So I actually think that is pretty good. XG table. Top. So we're legitimately top, though. Wow. Benfica. We've overperformed a little bit. Benfica have significantly overperformed. General performance. All right. Better spot than we were last year. Last year, we weren't quite as where we should be. I thought we should be. Looks like we're back there. Attacking very well. Conceded per game a little high. 0.47 is pretty good, but it's not among the best. I think Benfica defensively have been ridiculous this year again. Interceptions, maybe not quite where they were years past, but I feel like defensively we've done pretty well. Goal output, best defensive team in the league still, and the best attacking team right now. So we're having a really good season. Possession, still, we've always been up here. Even with, we'll look at the movement stats, I'm pretty sure our dribbling is very high, but we're still reliable in possession. We win the ball a lot, which we kind of need to if we're not going to, hold possession. So I think that's actually really important. Attacking efficiency, still really good. Benfica's conversion rate for their amount of shots is pretty crazy, but we're catching up to them. Shooting, most shots on target, best expected goals to shots ratio. Well, best of between us and Benfica. It looks like we're doing really well. Scoring, not quite as many goals per game as Benfica, but still really high and more expected goals actually. Movement, alluded to it earlier. We've been here every single year. We are just so good at dribbling, and I don't really understand why. Because we're not playing a wide system. The main people that are dribbling are really our fullbacks, whose dribbling is not crazy good, but we just dribble so much, and we don't lose the ball much. Passing, pass completion's never been a big emphasis for us, and passes attempted, very few, but we attempt dangerous passes, not just passes for the sake of passing. Crossing, last 2 years we've been really good, and that's not changed. Defensive efficiency, significantly the best team in the league defensively. Much better after a pretty poor defensive season last year, compared to our standards. Clearances, blocks, pretty good, pretty decent spot. Tackling, very good. Very good tackling. I like that. Aerially, best team in the league. That's what happened when we have 6'4" and a 6'5" striker. And you replaced a 5'11" striker with a center back with a 6'2" center back. Our center backs aren't dominant aerially, but they're pretty good. And finally, goalkeeping. Pretty solid. I think the player stats will actually be a little bit more interesting for the goalkeepers. Let's see that. Novistic, pretty good spot. About 85% save percentage. I don't have any problems with that. I think that's fine. It's obviously not... Hugo Souza actually is up there. I want to look at Hugo Souza. How's he done? Since he went to Burnley for $50 million, how has he done? Is he their starter? Looks like he is. Oh! I think we did well to sell him for $50 million because he's gone to Burnley in the Premier League, started pretty much every match for them, and has a 6.38 average rating with 35 conceded and 2 clean sheets. That is not ideal. I'm assuming Burnley are not doing well in the Premier League. 16th. Maybe a little bit better than I kind of anticipated with that sort of defensive numbers, but yeah, Sousa not got on very well. All right, let's go back to the data hub. So, slow goalkeeping, pretty good spot for Novistic. Advanced goalkeeping, much better than Hugo Sousa was last year. At least he's positive. He's not significant, but with the amount of, the low amount of shots he faces, it's kind of where you'd expect him to be. Passing, I think the save pass percentage is a little bit better than it has been in years past. Like, it's been like here before. So we're not really doing anything differently either. We're not playing it short. We're still, like, a lot of the time playing it long because we have those two really big strikers. Defensively, aerially. Wow, Inacio. He's not huge. He's not dominant, but he seems to do well. Romagnoli up there. Ruan not in a bad position. Possession. Inacio actually loses possession the least, which, as the ball player in the back four, he probably should. But wins possession quite a bit. Ruan actually wins possession quite a lot. Loses possession a little bit more than I'd like from a center back, but actually our wing backs are losing the ball most, but they're probably being the further forward and being a little bit more aggressive with their passes, so that kind of makes sense. Defensively, center backs all kind of in the same spot. Fullbacks, not a huge difference between them. Tackling, Bergman Johannesson, who has, I think, 8 or 9 tackling, attempts the most tackles on our team. And his one ratio is not bad. Literally, he second most in the league in terms of to Musa Wage, in terms of tackles attempted. Fullbacks all up there. Inacio, really strong tackling. Ooh. Ruan, 50%? With how few tackles he's attempting. That's not great. I mean, I definitely know I'll need another center back next year, but maybe to replace Ruan. I thought maybe just to kind of push him, but we might need to directly replace him if that's how poor he's doing. Passing shouldn't be anything too special. Ignacio and Romagnoli, the two best ball players, doing the best, kind of to be expected. Bergman Johannesson actually very low. For a guy that's, I think, of the back four, has the best passing, being a natural midfielder. I'm surprised it's that low. I don't know if he's just being aggressive or if he's just being wasteful. Movement, Vinagre, really far up there. Johansson on a bad spot. Aguilar doing surprisingly well. Skyo, not too bad for a guy that's not really a dominant dribbler at 32 years old. Assisting, Vinagre actually, most assists per 90 for us. Aguilar doing pretty well too. Bergman Johansson a little bit low in terms of assists. But I think in his play he's done pretty well. We saw how many tackles he attempts. Assisting, is that what I just looked at? It is what I just looked at. Crossing, Vinagre attempts quite a bit. Bergman Johansson, cross completion a little bit better. And he still attempts quite a bit. All right, midfielders. As we're used to saying, João Palhinha loses the ball the least. He's actually won it a lot more this year than he has in years past, too, as well. So that's good to see. Dyer doing pretty well as well. Midfielders all kind of around the middle somewhere. Gonzalez winning the ball quite a bit for a guy that can't really tackle. Cincy, not much of a tackler. They're very low work rate as well. So I am not surprised by seeing him win possession quite a low amount. Passing, obviously, still not going to be great for us because we're attempting pretty direct passes for the most part. Palhinha, though, Dyer, still kind of where you kind of want him as the non-passing midfielders. Nunez not in a bad spot. Gonzalez pretty low, but yeah, he's not much of a passer either, so he's got a fair few assists too. Let's see where he's at on the assisting. Not bad. Tabata, to be expected, one of the most creative players in the league. He's been, with how he's played the last 3 years, that's not surprising to me. Nuno Santos doing well too, like he did last year. Gonzalez doing pretty decently. Nunez, he's doing better than he was in years past as that advanced playmaker. I'd still like to see his key passes be higher. Even if his assists aren't way higher, I'd like to see more key passes. So, still not super happy there. Defending, Dyer. Amount of blocks, good lord. Palhinha in a pretty good spot too. Nunez, decent. The rest of our midfielders kind of where they're kind of expected to be. Tackling, Ugarte attempts quite a bit. His tackle-win ratio is pretty low. He doesn't have great tackling, but all his other defensive attributes are pretty good. Gonzalez actually tackling is pretty high. Palhinha, I'd expect his tackles-win ratio to be better than that. One of the worst, actually, in the team. Dyer's is much better. Does Dyer start? I don't know. I think attribute-wise, Palhinha is clearly better, but Shooting, wow. Gonzalez not doing nearly as good as usual. But I feel like he's scoring more goals this year than the past 2 years. 4 goals through 13 starts, compared to 7 through 26 and 5 through 25. So he's definitely doing better on a goals per game ratio, but his shooting attributes or shooting stats are not super high. Scoring. He better here, a little bit better. Cincy, up there as well. Have we not got a goal from any of our other midfielders? I don't know if that's what this means. Okay, forwards now. We should be pretty good in all these. All 4 of our forwards have been so good this year. Daryl Dike is a god. Expected goals per 90, nearly 1. Sorloth, pretty high too. I don't know why we're not seeing Sesko. Or Tomas, really. Tomas has played quite a bit. I don't know why they're not on here. Shooting, there's Sesko. A lot of shots on target. Expected goals per shot, average, but typically you're not going to be super high on expected goals per shot. DK, pretty good spot. I mean, all of our strikers in a pretty good spot. Scoring, Tomas. Sesko, obviously playing very well. DK, expected goals per 90 minutes, pretty high. Sorloth, of the 4, he's probably in the worst spot, but he's still really good. And I think I'm going to assume he's going to be more creative than these other 3 as well. So that's where he gets his value, as that complete forward. I want him to do more than just score goals. In fact, he's scoring as well, is good, but I want him to do more, including winning headers, which Sesko's doing very well at. Sorloth's still doing pretty well. Maybe not as well as I'd like, but movement, don't expect much here. Sesko, decent spot, decent dribbler. Sorloth, lose position a little bit more than I like, but he is that more creative of the forwards. Passing, kind of to be expected for everybody. Tomas being that high of a pass completion is surprising. Considering of the 4, he has the worst passing. Assisting, this is where I expect to see Sorloth. Yeah, the best in terms of creativity and assists. We don't see Sesko or the other one, Tomas, but I expect especially Tomas not to be very high. Sesko, decent passer, but he's more the goal scorer. And finally, crossing. I don't expect to see much here. Yeah. Sorloth doing pretty well, though. 44% cross completion, a little bit less than that. But DK's been good. DK's been really good. If we look at some of the stats, goals, Sesko 17 through 22 starts. Sorloth with 16 through 22 starts. DK 11 and 14. Tomas 9 and 8 starts, 8 sub appearances, but 8 starts he gets 9 goals. Bruno Thiago, who's out on loan, is he second division? Tondela, who are in the second division. So Bruno Thiago from the youth intake, pretty dang good, is loaned out to the second division. He has 10 goals in 13 starts. That is promising. Of their midfielders, Cincy actually has the same amount of goals as Gonzalez on less games played, significantly less started as well. Tabata, 4 goals. Oscar Gonzalez obviously got that hat trick. Inacio, 3. Compared to years past, he's just not scoring nearly as much as we're used to seeing. And Nunez has a couple. Good to see. Bragantia has 1. Polina, only 1. A little bit disappointing for a guy that has his aerial ability. I'd like to see him score a few more goals getting in the box, but as an anchorman, he's not going to get in the box very often. Let's look at assists. 11 from Tabata. We knew he was the most assists in the team. Aguilar doing pretty well too. 7 assists from 20 starts. From fullback is not bad. DK and Sorloth both on 6 assists, even though DK's started fewer games. Vinagre doing pretty well. Same as Bergman Johannesson, but actually same amount of games played, but significantly less starts. Tomas, 3. That's a little surprising. Nunez, 3. I think is actually a little bit better than years past at this point. Sesko, 3. Santos, 3. Escayo, 3. Pedro Gonzalez, 3. Yeah, everyone's getting involved, really. And I'm pretty happy for the most part. Yeah. I actually want to see Mateus Nunez's assists per... He only has 1 assist in the league, actually, but last year he only got 1 assist in the league. Got 3 the 2 years before that. So, yeah, his assist numbers really haven't shot up. His average rating really hasn't shot up, but it is better. I don't know what to do at that position. Whether I need to improve him or if it's just, the position they're never going to get a good rating. I don't know. Because I feel like he's done fine. I haven't had any problems with him. All right, I think that's about it that I want to go for this game. We saw the game. We saw all the Data Hub stuff. And I think we're going to come back for the Champions League. We've got Porto in the Allianz Cup. Don't really care. A bunch of games we should be winning in the league. Yeah. Moreirense again before Bayern Munich, but I don't think I'll need to show them again. Benfica's coming up as well. This is when the match got rescheduled too. Got Braga as well, who are not bad, but I have to show Benfica. That's an absolutely massive match. So it's going to be Bayern Munich, and it's going to be Benfica in the next episode. A huge episode. Really huge episode. Big for the league. If we win that match and don't slip up against one of these bad teams, with not a lot of games left, we'd be in a very good position. And Bayern Munich, I think we looked at their team. I think we could beat them. And I want to get at least as far as we did last year. So to do that, we have to get past Bayern Munich. See if we do. I'll see you next time. If you made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials and my Twitch are in the description. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.